Hello, welcome to the recap of Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 8, Serving Up Betrayals. Okay, we know that social media has exploded over Michael Darby. It's been all over the place. Everyone, you know, across the country and around the world is getting these pictures, these posts, these texts. All the ladies in the cast are getting a whole bunch of messages, and you can imagine how many poor Ashley is having to deal with. Okay, so that is the kind of the background of the start of this episode. Although it's going to end with an entirely different drama. All right, Candiace is recording music. Now, in a surprising twist for reality television, she does not need auto-tune. She has a perfectly lovely voice. So that's refreshing between the Countess and, you know, Soulja Boy and Benjamin and 90 Days. Yeah, it's refreshing to have someone on a show who is recording a nice song with her own voice. Yay! Slow claps for Candiace. I'm not always a fan of Candiace, but she is talented. Okay, she's singing a love song that she wrote for Chris, which is very sweet. She wrote a version that was more kind of like a slightly up-tempo ballad, and now she has a version of the song that's done in what's called go-go, which is a type of kind of R&B / urban music that's specific to Washington, D.C. And when you hear her song, you're going to recognize some other songs that have that backbeat, and like she says, with the congas and the cowbells, and it's very special. But it is from D.C. It is something that's kind of unique to D.C. that is spread to other areas in pop music, so that's kind of cool. She has a big-time producer who's worked with a lot of, you know, hip-hop heavyweights, so that's exciting. She says that she is done with Monique. There is no relationship for the time being. She says she's been a good friend to Monique. Yeah, we'll come back to that later. Not so much, Candiace, but anyway, it's silly though that this whole thing about Monique being a control freak and wanting everyone to be out by the fire pit at the lake house, and Candiace kind of being off in the corner with Ashley and Gizelle to break the news about the texts and the photo of Michael in the strip club, that this caused this latest blow up between the two of them. Yeah, it seems really unnecessary. You know, yes, Monique, be angry that she's friends with Charisse and that she became friendly with Charisse when you two were having trouble, which does not look good because Charisse is the one who told the whole world about the story of you and the personal trainer, which, you know, I have no proof. I don't know if it's true or it isn't true, but the fact is, that's dirty. That's working to destroy a family and spreading rumors that could destroy a family. So it's messy, and Candiace is messy. She's definitely messy. So I feel like, gosh, I'm a little bit on Monique's side in this. I'm not saying that Monique did not have a thing with her personal trainer, which would be disappointing, but still, yeah, I feel like Candiace kind of jumping in and suddenly she's best friends with Charisse does not smell right. She's being extra Candiace. Okay. All right. Now, Michael and Ashley. The night before they film this particular scene, Ashley gets the article and the photo of him from behind in his boxer briefs taken at a hotel, I guess at the MGM casino. There's a hotel there in the DC area, in the greater DC area. And she says that she is surprised that he has done this. I want to hear more because I have heard a lot of rumors that they have a kind of an open marriage, not necessarily an open marriage, but an unusual marriage. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so they go into a restaurant and they sit down and talk because she doesn't want to have bad energy around the baby. She doesn't want to have the talk at home. And he tells her, yes, he met a girl at the strip club, which it turns out was a stripper. And he took her to the casino and then he took her to the hotel. He claims that at the hotel he'd had so much to drink that he fell asleep, so nothing happened. He woke up suddenly the next morning and he went over to the dresser to check the time and to check his phone. And when he did that, she kind of furtively apparently pulled out her phone and took the photo of him from behind, where you could kind of also, I think, see part of his face in the mirror. So it was obviously Michael Darby. And then she used that opportunity to sell that picture to social media or to the tabloids or whatever. It ended up going everywhere. Okay, you know, he fell asleep and nothing happened. I don't know if I believe him. He's not a credible person to me. So, and here's the thing. What surprises me about the whole situation is I assumed for some reason when we first heard about all this and saw it all kind of unfold with the text coming in at Monique's lake house, I assumed that it was a woman at the strip club. It may sound funny to you, but I would imagine, I don't know why, but I would imagine this is probably a more upscale strip club. And at upscale strip clubs in South Florida, these are really pretty nice places with good security. There's lots of men in suits standing around, so nothing weird is going to happen. They have, you know, lovely cocktails and a wine list, and they have usually amazing DJs. They have fantastic music, and the girls are like, it's like watching the Shanghai acrobats. I mean, they're incredible. They have these 2-story poles, and what they can do impresses the hell out of me because I could never even climb the rope in high school. And what they do is really impressive, and they do it in like 7-inch heels. So, wow. Anyway, so I guess you can tell from this description that yes, occasionally my husband and I do go to one in particular, one of these, the nicest one, actually the best one in Southeast Florida. And the funny thing is, I had never been to one in my life. 2 years ago, we went to a concert, and then we had an amazing time. We were all kind of like buzzing from the concert. And then after the concert, we went with some friends to kind of an Irish pub that was next door. That's a really fun place. And I ended up having a couple shots of tequila. And as is always true, tequila has an effect on me. Man, shots of Patron have an effect on me like no other type of alcohol. And at that point, we went our separate ways. The couple went home and we were going to go home. But again, I was completely buzzing. I was just like, woo. I mean, I was, you know, I don't get like out of control. I don't slur my speech. I don't stumble. But, you know, I was definitely feeling on top of the world. And so I said on the way home, because we were going to pass right by this place, I said, let's go to this cabaret. And that was a couple years ago, so I was 56. So I had never been to a strip club until I was 56 years old. Now, wait, let me clarify that. I had been to male strip clubs and male reviews for bachelor parties lots of times. But usually they would have something on. There was one case, at my own bachelorette party when, believe it or not, there was a place that used to be down here in Miami that had men with nothing on, and it was legal, and they served alcohol. I don't think that's allowed anymore. I don't know. Anyway, so it was actually a little bit, I mean, I was young. I was like 24 years old, and I was like, frankly, some of those men frightened me. And of course, my friends are trying to call the guys over to the table, and I'm like, yeah, thanks. Yeah. Anyway, but the fact is, when you go to these cabarets, to these gentlemen's clubs, you will see lots of couples. I've been in there when it's mostly couples or groups of friends with men and women. And sometimes ladies will go in because the drinks are good and the prices are good, and usually ladies get in for free. And again, the music is fantastic. There's lots of men. I mean, it sounds like a really odd place to meet a guy. Yeah, we met at a strip club. Yeah, but anyway, so that's why I assumed, when we heard about this story, I assumed that he met a woman who was there maybe with some friends. I didn't think it was a stripper. Do you know how expensive that would be? Because you would have to pay for that stripper's time. That stripper is not like, she didn't just fall in love with Michael Darby and say, oh, I just want to hang out with you and then let's spoon in your hotel. No, that would be really expensive. And if she wasn't asking him for money, well, however much money she got for selling that picture is a whole lot less than she could make, A, working a shift as a stripper, or going back to some guy's hotel room with him. And being his companion at a casino for a few hours beforehand. That would be thousands of dollars. So that's why I mean, like, I guess he paid her? I don't know, but that's just, these are the kind of things I think of. But remember, strippers are not prostitutes. They're not necessarily prostitutes. Some strippers are prostitutes. A subset of strippers are prostitutes and will sleep with men for money. But usually they'll do like kind of up to a certain level of stuff, intimate stuff with men as part of their, job and going into the private rooms and stuff like that, but not like go all the way, to use an immature phrase. So yeah, going to hiring a stripper, getting a stripper to go to a casino with you and then come back to your hotel with you. Wow, if you do that on a regular basis, Michael, you do make a lot of money. You have more money than I thought. Okay, so now she asks if he told people, as was said in the text, did you tell people that you have a wife and a boyfriend? And he said, no, absolutely not. And then he apologized for everything, and he said he knew it was stupid and it was idiotic, and he knows that if he does it again, that would be the end, and et cetera, et cetera. And again, I don't believe him. I don't find him a credible person. I mean, do you? I just don't find him a credible person. Could he be telling the truth? Yeah, he could be telling the truth, but anyway. Okay, at this point, Ashley says in her confessional, they are not a traditional couple. In the sense that they have, it seems like my take on it is they have threesomes involving Ashley and another girl and Michael, that this is something they maybe do on a somewhat regular basis. So she'll say that, if sometimes she's attracted to women, and if she's attracted to a woman and they're out and the woman is willing, that they will have, a threesome. But she said that always in these kind of things, both partners have been involved. In other words, Michael and Ashley have been involved. It hasn't been like one person going off and doing their own thing. No. So at this point, Michael suddenly asks the cameras to stop filming. Oh my God, here comes the producer again. All right, Housewives. Andy, I'm already upset with you. You know you're getting on my last nerve. Stop with this breaking the fourth wall, bringing the producers, showing the cameramen, people saying, bravo, 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 stop filming. Let us at least hang on to the flimsy the sort of flimsy illusion that there is some reality in this, and that we're sort of like a fly on the wall watching these people's lives unfold. We're not stupid. We know this is reality TV, and we know that even if it's not fully scripted, that much of the scenes are kind of worked out in advance, that sometimes you're going to play with scenes and you're going to put scenes in that actually happened after the show says they did, like Brandy telling her horrible story about how Denise raped her. That was pretty sure. I've heard this so many times. And if you look at the kind of details of it, you can sort of see that that scene was put in after Rome. That was put in after Teddy came out with the whole story that Brandy had told her and Kyle. So, you know, yes, all of these things we know. We know they play around with this. We know that things are drummed up, drama is drummed up that isn't really there. We understand that. But that little 20% or whatever it is that is actually the real lives of these people, we kind of cling to that. We like that. And if you're constantly showing us behind the curtain like the Wizard of Oz and seeing the little guy at the levers, you're spoiling it for us. Just stop it. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I think it's a really bad idea, because you're kind of making it lose its magic, and it's going to evolve into something else, or it's going to just become old and people aren't going to want it and they're going to look for another type of entertainment. So I would just say be very careful with this, because now we've seen this on Beverly Hills, we've seen this on New York. Have we seen it on Orange County? Probably. I mean, but now we've seen it on Potomac, and I'm just, it's enough. Stop doing this. So anyway, he says to the producer, who now, you know, is introduced, and you get a Chiron, you know, whatever, Fred, producer, whatever the hell his name is. And then he crouches down by their table, and Michael says, no more. We've already shared a lot more. We've shared some really personal stuff. I don't want to share any more than this. So there is that. And yeah, I hope this just, it seems to be escalating into something that's just going to be a regular, almost like a cast member. You know, production is going to become another cast member, and we're going to get to know the producers and cameramen, I guess. I don't know. Okay, now we are with Monique. She is meeting with her team in a new office. She can't work at home with the kids, so she's gotten this, what looks like a lovely office space. She has a considerable team. They've got all this merch. Her company is not for lazy moms, and she is really hoping to raise some money by doing this live podcast. Karen is going to be there, maybe Ray, and she says that Candiace and Chris are going to be there. She's selling tickets for this, for the audience. So, you know, she's actually hoping to raise some money, because she has apparently gone way over budget. All right. So that's cute. Anyway, Gizelle is furniture shopping, and Robin meets her there. The two BFFs, those two are thick as thieves. Robin tells Gizelle that after she left, remember Gizelle left early to go up to New York and get her book award. And Robin tells her that Monique had just a complete fit over Candiace keeping Gizelle and Ashley away from the group, away from the fire pit, for, you know, in order to tell Ashley about these texts and the picture of Michael in the strip club, which they thought was more important. But, you know, Monique is a control freak, and when she plans a weekend, she wanted everything to go exactly as planned, and they were supposed to be out there making s'mores. So she was really angry and took out her anger on Candiace. And you know, if you show a little bit of aggression to Candiace, she's going to get all... She's hair trigger. Candiace is hair trigger. So's Wendy, I'm learning. Wendy and Candiace are both just like, you know, you throw any little... All you have to do is kind of poke them just the littlest bit, and they're both going to be like that. So that's two ladies in the same show. Okay, anyway, obviously telling Ashley what was going on was more important than the marshmallows. They both feel really terrible about what's happening to Ashley because they got so many DMs and so many, were contacted by so many people about this. So they're like, oh my God, imagine how many messages Ashley's had to deal with. Okay, so Gizelle says that she wants to take the ladies to a winery. She feels bad that she left the lake house weekend early, even though they were all joking about kind of being held hostage there. Anyway, she wants to take the ladies to a winery to kind of have a little bonding moment with all of them. All right, now we cut to Monique and Chris walking Chase. Oh, that baby is so cute. He's yummy, 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 yummy. She ventures to tell Chris that she's really concerned that she's not selling many tickets. I mean, she has like hundreds of tickets to sell, and she sold like 20. And remember, she's looking to raise money from this podcast. She really wants her husband's unconditional support. But he is, he's very practical. He's like, yeah, they have tons of money, but if he's going to fund her starting a business, he wants a return from it. He doesn't want it to just be something where she's throwing so much money in that she can't possibly recoup what she spent, let alone make a profit. And did I say that she's spent $200,000 already? It's a lot. Okay, she says that Candiace is not coming to take part in the podcast. Now Monique has to reprint the flyers because she already had the flyers printed up, and the glossy cards printed up with Karen and Candiace and the other featured speakers, and now she has to redo them because Candiace is not coming. One of the reasons why Candiace and Monique are having all of this tension now too is also because Candiace is just so hurt that when she went to leave the lake house, Chris said goodbye, but Monique was asleep on the sofa, and she believes that Monique was pretending to be asleep just to disrespect her. Probably, because honestly, when you fall asleep, even if you're really, really tired, haven't we all done that? Haven't we all pretended to be asleep to get out of dealing with somebody? I know I have. Not lately, but yeah. So I think Monique probably was faking being asleep so she could just not have to say goodbye to her. Anyway, but that really bothers Candiace. She feels really disrespected about that. And so that's another thing that's just adding fuel to the fire. And, they weren't in great terms anyway. So this is just getting worse and worse and worse. Okay, but I mean, the problem is Chris and Chris are really good friends, and hopefully that won't change no matter what mess, Monique and Candiace are in. Hopefully it won't get so bad that it affects Chris and Chris's friendship, because they seem like they're, bros for real. Okay, Robin goes to her parents' house. I've watched every episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. I've watched it from the beginning. I think I'm a super fan, but I'm actually not remembering at this moment if we have met her parents. We probably have at some point in passing, but I don't remember. So it's so cool to meet her parents. They have a lovely home. They seem to live somewhere in suburban Baltimore. And her father is a retired dentist, but his real passion is he's a jazz musician. So he's been getting a lot of gigs now that he's retired. He's really putting his energy into being a jazz musician, which how cool is that? Her mom was a professor, so I love her. So I'm like, oh, I love Robin's parents, but I'm usually kind of team Robin anyway. I've always liked Robin. I don't know, I've always had a soft spot for her. And I'm rooting so much for Robin and Juan. I really want that to work. Okay. Robin doesn't know that Juan is out there, kind of working with Gizelle on designing the ring and, kind of getting everything together for the big proposal. So she tells her parents, we really should get married if we're gonna purchase a house. So we really should get married first, before we purchase this new house. Dad is not so sure, not because he doesn't love Juan, but just because of the cheating, and you know how fathers are, they're very protective of their little girls. Mom, on the other hand, says, well, it's about time. You know, they've been living together as man and wife for years. So it's almost like the divorce was, I don't know how long they were actually apart. I don't know how long of an actual separation there was, but then they sure came back together fast. They both, the mom and dad, love Juan. Juan lost both of his parents by the time he was 15. So when they met Juan, they were just like, you're our son now. And they really claimed him as part of the family. And they showed photos of, you know, Robin when she was a teenager, and they showed pictures of the wedding where Juan has a fro and Robin has dark hair, kind of like down to her shoulders. And yeah, it's, you know, she's a really pretty girl. I always feel like the kind of short, you know, haircut doesn't necessarily do her any favors, but she has a beautiful face. That she's beautiful. It's not just the eyes. She's just pretty. Okay, now we go to Ashley and her mom and Ashley's sister, Jessica. Jessica is 14 years old, and she is the child of Ashley's mom and a different father. This is the child of her mother's partner, who she's been with for quite a long time. Okay. So anyway, Jessica, who, like I said, is 14, is going to her homecoming. So they're taking her to this dress store, this kind of, you know, nice upscale store, to find a dress for her homecoming. She's going stag, so she's not going to wear like a gown. She's looking for more like a party dress. So while she's trying things on, and then she goes in the dressing room, Mom and Ashley are kind of alone, well, you know, with the baby for a few minutes, and Mom wastes no time expressing how angry she is at Michael. And she says, you know, baby, there has to be consequences. If he's going to do things like this, there has to be consequences. And Ashley says something that I think is very important. It's very important for all women to be able to say if they're in a situation like this. She says, Mom, I'm not afraid to leave Michael. You know, she left him once before, and she's not afraid to leave him. That's very important. The worst thing in the world is a woman stuck in a relationship because she feels like she has no place else to go. So that's, I guess, encouraging. I mean, it's sad, but it's encouraging. Okay. Now the ladies go to the winery. Well, of course, you know, Gizelle being Gizelle, she's got to kind of be the star of this event, and it's secretly an excuse to celebrate her book award. So, all right, so the ladies gather, and you know, I'm going to have a new expression now that's going to be, oh, hell, Gizelle. Her outfit. Some of these outfits that she puts together. It's like, you know how little girls, when they're like around 7, they first start really wanting to pick their own clothes. And they'll pick things that are kind of like weird or different or sparkly or furry or, you know, just something. And her outfit is really strange. And then she has, which is kind of oddly, it's tongue-in-cheek, maybe it's kind of cute. She has this black ski cap, like a knit cap, and in rhinestones it says Gucci, but G-U-C-C-Y. Now I need to look this up, because is the head designer at Gucci doing this as a joke, or is Gucci actually putting G-U-C-C-Y on certain things just like to be tongue-in-cheek, or is this a funny hat that is making, you know, kind of like throwing shade at people that are too obsessed with designers and things like that? I don't know, but anyway, the hat's kind of funny. But the rest of it is like, oh, there are a lot of problems with the rest of it. Yeah, I mean, thank God we don't get too much of a good look at it, because I think if we had her just stand facing forward looking at the camera and we saw every detail of the outfit, we'd be going, ooh, oh, hell, Gizelle. She's fashion impaired. And it's so funny because she's probably, arguably, other than Monique, she's probably the most stunning woman. You know, she's just beautiful, beautiful figure, beautiful, you know, just incredible face. She's stunning. And it's just ironic that unless they're dressing her, like they're picking the gowns for the, you know, like for the intro and stuff like that, or they probably pick her gowns for the reunions because she looks great in those. But oh my goodness, I can tell you, she dresses herself. She doesn't, I don't think she has a stylist. I don't think she has a stylist. Anyway, she just cracks me up. Gizelle is, yeah, she's, like I've said, she's the Lucille Ball of all the Real Housewives. She's adorable. I'm all about Gizelle. Okay, Ashley weirdly announces that she might be pregnant. Hold the phone. I am so confused. Dina's 3 months old. I mean, I know it's possible. I'm Irish and we have an expression, Irish twins, because, you know, Catholic Irish women did not believe in birth control in the day. My own mother did not believe in it. My mother and father had 6 kids in what? Let me do the math. They had 6 kids in 11 years. So you do the math in terms of the separation. So basically the only reason my mother didn't get pregnant right away is because she was nursing. So she was either pregnant or nursing for 11 years. But she loved it. She loved it. My father was successful. She had, you know, housekeepers. She had lovely houses. She had everything she needed. And, you know, the bitch, she would like immediately go back to a size 6 after every baby. Because my mother was like just always perfect. You know, so she never, baby weight? What's baby weight? Barbara was always, I bet the other ladies in the neighborhood just hated her because there were a lot of them that were all having babies at the same time and probably like looking down at their waistlines and feeling like, oh. And then my mother, who looked like, you know, a movie star, would show up at the neighborhood cocktail parties and, you know, tall in this like designer dress with her hair all done by, she had stylists. And they must have hated her. And she'd be like, yeah, I just had my 4th baby. And her waist was like this. I look at pictures of her now, you know, during this period where she's having baby after baby after baby, and she's just so glamorous. She's just all, you know, tall, thin, Elizabeth Taylor looking. You know, my dad got lucky. Okay. Anyway, so how is Ashley pregnant? She is nursing, and she said, I know it's almost impossible. It's really hard to get. It's not impossible. P.S. We all know it's not impossible. You can definitely get pregnant while you're nursing, but she thinks she might be pregnant, and everyone's really confused because they're like, okay, well then there is some intimacy going on. But then remember, she said that there wasn't intimacy going on, that her and Michael were having trouble having sex after the baby because of her difficult birth. So I'm really confused. Did she just throw that out there like a red herring? Is this going to come back? Are we going to hear more about this? I'm very confused by that. So let's just pass by because I don't know what to think about that. Anyway, but she then immediately jumps to, yes, the texts were true. Yes, he took a stripper to a casino and then to a hotel, and he fell asleep, and they didn't have sex because he was drunk and he fell asleep. But the next morning he jumped out of bed and checked his iPhone to see if there were messages or to check the time. And while he was jumping up from the bed, she took a sly picture of him and then sold it to social media or the tabloids. Okay, that allegedly. Yeah, and it's at this point actually where they specifically say that it was a stripper. It was a dancer. I'm sorry, a dancer. They like to be called dancers. A dancer. Okay. Yeah, again, I mean, no one believes he fell asleep before he had sex. Kind of like, okay. And Wendy's so funny. Wendy's like, sis, no one wants to cuddle Michael. Like if he fell asleep, the stripper would stay there. Sorry, the dancer would stay there and cuddle him all night and spoon him. Yeah. Also, if he was passed out, why didn't she kind of slither out of bed and take pictures of him sleeping? Then you could really get his face. You know, like maybe like pull the sheet off, show that he's in his underwear and he's in bed in a hotel room. Or she could even maybe like do a selfie with her. Maybe she didn't want to show herself, but I would imagine that wouldn't be a problem. So I don't know. It just, it doesn't sound... It doesn't pass the smell test or the taste test, as I've already said tonight. Okay. Now, Monique says, do you think that maybe he's just giving you enough truth? And he only told you because it was already out there. He told you once it was already out there. In other words, he didn't come back and say, oh, I've got to confess this to you. I feel so bad. The timing was that this stuff was already out there. People knew about it. And then he confessed to her after she already knew. So that's not great. That doesn't look good. Ashley volunteers to everybody that her marriage does allow for threesomes. It does allow for other people to be involved, is the way she said it. Okay, she just shares that very openly, and no one seems to really be bothered by it. Karen's fine with it. She's like, yeah, you know what? By the way, Karen looks so cute. She's someone else has been giving her a lot of shade for being too Fendi this season, but she looks good in Fendi. She looks good in the classic black and brown Fendi F design, and she has another like a poncho that's cute. I like her wig. I like her look. I think that she is looking good this season, as long as she does not put that mushroom cap wig back on. That was bad. Okay, anyway, everyone is really supportive. So it's like, great, we're on a positive moment now. And then Ashley makes the big faux pas of saying to Candiace and Monique, so you guys are good now? Everything good between you two? And then begins the shitstorm. Okay. No. This is still all about... it's all about Candiace making a big effort to be friends with Charisse when her and Monique were in a fight. Candiace never had any friendship or, you know, closeness to Charisse. She went to Charisse and put out a hand in friendship because they were both working against Monique, basically. And Monique associates Candiace with Charisse, and Monique associates Charisse with telling everyone that Monique was sleeping with her personal trainer. So this is all about, as they say on the show, it's about Charisse and it's about the personal trainer. Okay. And now it starts getting physical and they start laying hands on each other, and it's a cliffhanger. So we stop with, you know, someone reaching across to pull someone's hair, and you do not pull a woman's hair. We know that. Anyway, but thank God Wendy got the knife out of Candiace's hands, because at one point she's talking to Monique and she's gesturing with a knife, and it's like an apple knife. It's not a butter knife like last time when she threw the knife across the table. This was a sharp knife. So, before she can throw it at Monique, Wendy very judiciously takes the knife out of her hand and puts it down. So anyway, yeah, let's see what develops from this. But there's just bad blood between those two. There's bad blood, and Candiace is a hothead, and Monique, look, all of these ladies, I want to say all of these ladies, pretty much all of these ladies have tempers if you push them. And if you push them in the wrong way, in the wrong direction, at the wrong time, it'll come out. And you're playing with fire here. And we have a few really volatile ladies on the show right now. And so, yeah. We'll have to see. Can't wait for Sunday night for the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that, actually, I see that more and more of you are joining me for Real Housewives of Potomac. So I hope that I'm converting some of you to this show, which I think it's the best. I think it's my favorite right now. I wouldn't have said that a couple years ago. I would have said New York. But, you know, I think that now this is really something. So please remember to like, comment. Love your comments so much. You guys are you're just always making my day. Honestly, at least, you know, a couple times a day, I'll just read a particular comment and just be like, oh, you guys, my shady tribe, you're making me very happy. So yes, if you want to do me a really, really huge favor that I would be really grateful for, you can push that red subscribe button, and you can ring the bell if you would like to be notified when I'm uploading new content. I would love to have you join us. I would love to have you join us on a regular basis. I am noticing that, you know, I'm honored and grateful that my views are going up, but the percentage of people subscribing versus the people who are watching, and I know my numbers are going up in terms of the time that people are watching. The average view time is going way up. So that is actually really great, you guys. That's something that is really important. I'm delighted, you know, like people are clicking and they're staying. So that is really exciting me. That's something that's getting like better and better and better. But anyway, just if you are enjoying it, you know, send me a comment. Let me know, you know, how you feel. If you want to subscribe, if you do subscribe, be sure and put down in the comments, hi, I'm so-and-so, I subscribe, because they will give me a little notification saying so-and-so subscribe, but it might be your username. So if you want me to thank you by your first name, you know, go ahead and say, you know, hi, this is, you know, Jenny, and I just subscribed, so that I can thank you not only in the comments, but also on air, so to speak. So anyway, so I want you to take very, very good care of yourself. Now we're learning a little bit more about this thing about Miss Rona, and you know, it's more important than ever to make sure that we're maintaining that distance and wearing a mask. And yeah, I want you all to be healthy, and I hope that all your families are well, and I want you to be good, but not too good. I love you guys. Bye.